to Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, July 7th, 2023. Today we're going to recap the MLB and notable soccer games from yesterday. Look ahead to today's and the weekend's games and those sports here for the WNBA and the Summer League. We have Wimbledon, golf, NASCAR, my final MLB mock draft of the year, final mock draft of 2023 period, and news and notes. We'll start baseball as we always do in the summertime. We'll go over the games from yesterday, look ahead to the weekend slate, which is obviously the weekend before the All-Star break. Reds over the Nats 5-4-10. Tigers over the A's 9-0. Brewers over the Cubs 6-5. Doubleheader game 1. Blue Jays over the White Sox 6-2-11. Phillies over the Rays 3-1-11. Cardinals over the Marlins 3-0. Yankees get absolutely destroyed at home by the Orioles 14-1. Guardians over the Royals 6-1. Red Sox over the Rangers 10-6. Mariners over the Astros 5-1. Game 2, doubleheader, Jays over the White Sox 5-4. Mets over the D-backs 9-0. So the Mets pull off a sweep of the D-backs. And the Dodgers over the Pirates 5-2. All right, tonight's games at 6:40 on Apple TV+. You have the Braves at the Rays, potential World Series preview perhaps. But I feel like the Rays thing kind of is just the arrow's pointing down a little bit from like a consensus standpoint in a weird way. So I'm just trying to pull up the odds here. So we got Charlie Morton and Tyler Glasnow. Rays are minus 116. The Braves are minus 102. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 146. Rays minus or plus 1.5 is minus 78. So the Rays are favored on the money line, but the Braves are favored on the run line. Give me the Atlanta Braves at minus 102. You're never going to see them as an underdog very often. Phil's Marlins, Zach Wheeler and Sandy Alcantara. Phil's minus 134, Marlins plus 114, over under 7, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Phil's minus 1.5 is plus 136, Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 164. So obviously, Alcantara's been terrible this year. He took a big step back after winning the Cy Young last year. So this is a hard one. But maybe, you know what? I'm going to take the Marlins at plus 114. Maybe Alcantara shows some flashes of his last year's self. And he, leads the Marlins to a victory over the Phils. And the Phils are low-key 8 over 500. I didn't realize that. And the Marlins are double digits over 500 too. So good on the Phils for turning their season around. Next up is the Blue Jays and the Tigers. Alek Manoah and Alex Faedo. So Alec versus Alex. The Blue Jays are minus 134. The Tigers are plus 114. Over under 9. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Jays minus 1.5 is plus 118. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 142. We're taking the Tigers plus 114. I just don't trust Alek Manoah. Rangers and the Nats at 7. You have Trevor Williams against Bradford on the Rangers. Cody Bradford. I thought it was Colby, but it's Cody with the DY. Rangers minus 168, Nats plus 142, over under 10, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Rangers minus 1.5 and Nats plus 1.5 is minus 110 each way. I'm going to go with the Rangers on the run line minus 1.5 and minus 110. Cubs Yankees from the stadium. Jameson Taillon back in the Bronx against Carlos Rodon making his Yankees debut finally. Yanks minus 162. The Cubs are plus 136. Over under 8. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 150. Yanks minus 1.5 is plus 125. I know where I'm going with this. This is a bounce back spot for the Yankees. They look terrible in the last game. I love it. Over 4.5 runs, even money. Jameson Taillon's been terrible on the Cubs. And the Yankees are going to tattoo him. Royals Guardians. Daniel Lynch and Aaron Savali. Guardians minus 172. Royals plus 144. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 134. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 112. Savali's been really good for the Guardians. Daniel Lynch has been okay too. I like under 8.5 runs at minus 118. A's Red Sox. Red Sox got to take advantage of this. Luis Medina and Brennan Berendino. Red Sox minus 245. The A's are 2-1 over under 10.5. Minus 110 each way. A's plus 1.5 is plus 104. Red Sox minus 1.5 is minus 125. Full game over. O's Twins at 8 o'clock on Apple TV+. Colorvin and Bailey Ober. Interesting game. I want to see who's favored. I would say it's the Twins. Yes. Minus 156. O's are plus 1. So it went to minus 152 and plus 128 respectively for the Twins and the O's. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. O's plus 1.5 is minus 154. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 128. For this one, I'm going to go with over 4.5 Twins runs, minus 111. Reds Brewers. Andrew Abbott, who's been brilliant, against Corbin Burns. Brewers are slight favorites, minus 118. Reds are even money, over under 7.5. Overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Reds minus 1.5 is plus 176. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 15. So the Reds are favored on the run line. The Brewers are favored on the money line. Give me the Reds at even money. Mariners Astros. Pretty big series here. Luis Castillo, Hunter Brown. Each team's minus 108, over under 7. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 150. Astros plus 1.5 is minus 182. So Mariners favored on the run line, but it's a pick 'em. I like how the Astros are playing. I'm taking the minus 108 against the Mariners. Cardinals White Sox, battle of the duds, arguably in each league. Jordan Montgomery and Dylan Cease. Cardinals are slight favorites, minus 112. White Sox are minus 104, over under 8.5. Overs minus 106, unders minus 115. Cards minus 1.5 is plus 146. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 178. I like the over. I can see the Cardinal offense scoring some runs here and whatnot, taking advantage of bad White Sox defense and vice versa. 9:30, Pirates D-backs. Rich Hill and Zach Gallen. D-backs minus 200. Pirates plus 168, over under 8.5, minus 110 each way. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 126. D-backs minus 1.5 is plus 105. I'm going to go full game over here too. Mets Padres. Justin Verlander, New Darvish. Padres are minus 124. Mets plus 106, over under 8. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Mets plus 1.5 is minus 200. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 162. I'm going full game over. The battle of LA. Angels, Dodgers. Griffin Canning, Tony Gonsolin from Dodger Stadium. Dodgers minus 172. The Angels are plus 144, over under 9. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 142. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 118. This is an interesting one. But I'm going to go under 9, minus 118. And then 10-15, you have the Rockies and the Giants. Uno is going for the Rocks, and Ross Stripling is going for San Francisco. Giants minus 166. The Rocks are plus 140, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Rocks plus 1.5 is minus 152. Giants minus 1.5 is plus 126. I'm going full game over. All right, to the weekend we go. 1 o'clock, Cubs, Yankees from the Bronx. Blue Jays, Tigers. We're not going to do pitching matchups because of time. 2 o'clock, O's, Twins, Cards, White Sox. 4 o'clock, Rocks, Giants, Rangers, Nats, Fox Sports 1, Reds, Brewers, Royals, Guardians, A's, Red Sox, Phils, Marlins, Pirates, D-backs. 7:15 on Fox, we have 2 games. Braves, Rays, and Mariners, Astros. Braves, Rays is the better game. And then 9 o'clock, you have the Angels and the Dodgers. And 10 o'clock, you have the Mets and the Padres. Sunday. Okay. 12 o'clock on Peacock. Rangers, Nats. 1 o'clock. 1:30. Cubs, Yanks. Ace, Sox. Braves, Rays. Royals, Guardians. Phils, Marlins. Jays, Tigers. 2 o'clock. O's, Twins. Reds, Brewers. Mariners, Astros. Cards, White Sox. 4 o'clock. Rockies, Giants. Pirates, D-backs. Mets, Padres. And no Sunday Night Baseball because it's the Sunday before the All-Star break. And the draft is on Sunday. So that's why there's no Sunday Night Baseball this weekend. All right, now move on to soccer. We'll go over notable results from yesterday, and we will look ahead to everything going on this weekend. So, women's friendlies. Yesterday, France over Ireland 3-0. And then today, 2:30, you have Germany and Zambia. Germany's minus 3,000. Zambia's set 37-1. The draw's 13-1. For this one, I'm going to go under 3.5 goals at plus 172. Saturday, 4 a.m., you have South Korea and Haiti. Sunday, 4 o'clock on TNT, you have USA and Wales. And then Monday morning at 1:30 a.m., you have New Zealand and Vietnam. All right, Euro under 19 results. Portugal over Italy 5-1. Poland over Malta 2-0. And then today, 12 o'clock, you have Greece and Spain. 3 o'clock, you have Iceland and Norway. All right, Liga MX. We have 2 games tonight. 9 o'clock, we have Puebla and Santos. Puebla plus 160, Santos plus 145. The draw's plus 250. Tough one, I'm going with the draw plus 250. And then 11 o'clock, you have Necaxa and Tijuana. Necaxa plus 145, Tijuana plus 180. The draw's plus 220. I'm going to go with Necaxa at home at plus 145 to bounce back. Saturday, 7:50, Cruz Azul Toluca. 8 o'clock, Guadalajara Athletic San Luis and Juarez Tigres. And then Sunday, 2 o'clock, UNAM and Mazatlan. 7 o'clock, Querétaro and America. And 9 o'clock, you have Monterrey and Atlas. The National Women's Soccer League. Tonight, 3 games. 7 o'clock, you have Orlando and OL Reign. Orlando plus 250, Seattle's even money. The draw's plus 260. Tough one. I like how Seattle's playing. I'm taking them at even money. Louisville, Kansas City. Louisville's favored at home, minus 105. Casey's plus 280. The draw's plus 250. I like Kansas City straight at plus 280 as an underdog. And then 8:30 of Houston and Chicago. Houston's minus 150. Chicago's plus 410. The draw's plus 270. For this one, I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals at minus 106. Saturday, 10 o'clock, you have San Diego and Washington. And then Sunday, you have Gotham, Portland. And 8 o'clock, you have Angel City, North Carolina. And Gotham's Portland is 5:30. So, and then after Sunday, this league takes a break for over a month and doesn't resume back until Friday, August 18th. So just a FYI right there. All right, USL Championship. Tonight at 8:30, you have Memphis and San Antonio. Memphis is plus 125. San Antonio is plus 185. The draw is plus 240. I'm going to take Memphis at home at plus 125. Saturday's loaded. So 7 o'clock, Hartford, San Diego, Indy, Tulsa, Miami, Phoenix, Pittsburgh, Sacramento, Tampa, Oakland at 7:30. 8 o'clock, Louisville, Loudoun, Rio Grande, Orange County. 9 o'clock, New Mexico, Detroit. 10 o'clock, Monterrey Bay, El Paso. And 10:30, Vegas, Birmingham. MLS coming up this weekend. We have CF Montreal, Atlanta, Charlotte, Cincinnati, Columbus, NYCFC, DC United, Miami, Red Bulls, New England, Toronto, St. Louis, 8:30, Chicago, Nashville, Houston, KC, Minnesota, Austin, 9:30, Colorado, Dallas, Salt Lake, Orlando. How about this? The MLS Championship rematch. The Galaxy hosting the Union. LAFC, San Jose, and then Vancouver, Seattle. So we have a pretty deep slate for Saturday in MLS. CONCACAF Gold Cup coming up this week in the quarterfinals. 7 o'clock, you have Panama and Qatar. And 9:30, you have Mexico and Costa Rica. Sunday, July 9th, Guatemala, Jamaica, and U.S., Canada. Very quickly, I'm going to give out picks. So, we'll do in Panama, Qatar, we'll go over 2.5 goals plus 112. Mexico, Costa Rica, we'll go under 2.5 goals. Guatemala, Jamaica, we'll go over 2.5 goals at plus 114. And U.S., Canada, Sunday night. But U.S. better win this one. Over 2.5 goals, minus 122. Or minus 112. And then we also we went over USL, and in League One Saturday of Chattanooga, Northern Colorado, Knoxville, North Carolina, Forward, Madison, Central Valley, and Union and Richmond. And then I don't think we have League One on Sunday. We do actually. There's one 7 o'clock. You have Charlotte and Lexington. All right, so there you have it for soccer. Now we'll move on to the WNBA. I know we did a while on soccer of the weekend and whatnot. So we'll go over the WNBA results from yesterday and look ahead to the weekend and tonight, obviously. Tonight's a loaded slate. So yesterday, the Sun over the Storm 93-73. And in 4 games tonight, 7 o'clock on IN, you have the Fever and the Mystics. And all 4 games tonight are Commissioner's Cup games. So the Mystics are favored by 3.5, totals 158.5. I'll lay it with the Mystics. 8 o'clock on IN, you have the Dream and the Sky. Sky are favored by 1.5, totals 169.5. I'll lay the points. Also on Iron Aces Wings. The Aces are favored by 8.5, totals 175.5. I'm going to take the over. And then Mercury Lynx. The Lynx are favored by 5.5, totals 162.5. I'll take the over in that one as well. Saturday, 2 o'clock on ESPN, Storm Liberty. So Brianna Stewart against her old team. And then Sunday, 3 o'clock on ESPN, you have the Mystics and the Suns. 4 o'clock on ESPN, 3 of the Wings and the Fever. 6 o'clock, Sparks Mercury. 7 o'clock, Commissioner's Cup game between the Aces and the Lynx. And then 8 o'clock, you have the Dream and the Sky. All right, now move on to the Summer League. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to a busy weekend in Vegas coming up. Looking forward to this. So Utah Summer League comes to a close. Thunder over the Sixers, 191. And then the Jazz over the Grizzlies, 98-83. Alrighty. Busy weekend ahead in Vegas. 4:30 NBA TV, Pelicans T-Wolves from Cox. We're going to give out bets. Why not? Only for the Friday games because that's all we have time for, and that's all they have provided. The Pelicans are favored by 1.5, totals 180.5. Let's go with the under. I think that's a high total. ESPNU at 5 o'clock from I forget the name. I'm blanking on the name of the other Vegas arena. There's Cox Pavilion and Thomas and Mack Center. There we go. Nuggets Bucks. The Bucks are favored by 2.5. Totals 182.5. I'll take the under there too. 6:30 NBA TV. The Bulls and the Raptors from Cox. The Raptors are giving 1.5. Totals 180.5. I'll lay the 1.5 with the Raptors. 7 o'clock. ESPN. Blazers Rockets. Scoot Henderson against Amen Thompson and Cam Whitmore from Thomas and Mack. Portland's giving 1.5. Totals 185.5. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with Portland. This is a Scoot Henderson bet. 8:30 NBA TV. Cavs Nets from Cox. Brooklyn's giving 1.5. Totals 181.5. I'll lay the 1.5 with Brooklyn. And the big one, the big event, 9 o'clock. ESPN. Hornets, Spurs, Wemby, Brandon Miller from the Thomas and Mack Center. The Spurs are giving a whopping 6.5. Totals 184.5. The Spurs have been really good in the Summer League so far. They were in wherever Charlotte was. I think they were in Sacramento. I'm going to lay the points. Wemby's there. Brandon Miller struggled in Summer League so far, but maybe he'll finally have a good game. But I'm going to lay the points with the Spurs here. And then 10:30 on NBA TV, Kings Hawks from Cox. So Thomas and Max ESPN, and then Cox is NBA TV for Friday night. That's so we know. Hawks are giving 2.5. Totals 181.5. I'll lay the points with the Hawks. And then 11 o'clock tonight on ESPN from Thomas and Mack, Warriors, Lakers. Lakers giving 2.5. Totals 185.5. I'll take the under there. All right, the Saturday window is loaded too. 3 o'clock NBA TV from Cox, Heat Celtics. 3:30 ESPN2 from Thomas and Mack, Mavs Thunder. 5 o'clock NBA TV from Cox, Knicks Sixers. 5:30 ESPN from Thomas and Mack, Pistons Magic. So we have Oscar Thompson against Anthony Black and Jett Howard. NBA TV, 7 o'clock from Cox, Grizzlies Bulls. 8 o'clock on ESPN2 from Thomas and Mack, Pacers Wiz. 9 o'clock NBA TV, you have the Bucks and the Suns from Cox. And then 10 o'clock on ESPN2, you have the Clippers and the Jazz from Thomas and Mack. Sunday's loaded too. 3:30 NBA TV from Cox. Raptors Caps, 4 o'clock on ESPN2. You have Lakers Hornets. So Brandon Miller against the Lakers. NBA TV, Cox, Knicks Nets. ESPN2, 6 o'clock from Thomas and Mack, Pistons Rockets. 7:30 NBA TV from Cox, Celtics Wizards. 8 o'clock ESPN2. Spurs Blazers. So you have Scoot against Wemby on ESPN2 on Sunday night. The reason why it's on 2 is because the MLB drafts on Sunday night. NBA TV from Cox, Hawks Nuggets. And 9:30 and 10 o'clock on ESPN2, Pelicans Warriors from Thomas and Mack. All right, now move on to the Wimbledon. We'll go over results from yesterday and look ahead to everything that we know that's going on, like today, tomorrow, and the rest of the weekend. We'll start with the men's. So we have a lot of results to go over. We actually do have a couple of first round results we have to touch on, because that's how behind this event is. 19 seed Alexander Zverev over Gilles Brouwer in 3 sets. That was first round. Also first round, Botic van de Zandschulp over Zhang Zhang in 5 sets. And 31 seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina over Arthur Fils in 3 sets. Second round results from yesterday. 3 seed Daniil Medvedev over Adrian Manarino in 3 sets. 21 seed Grigor Dimitrov over Ilya Ivashka in 3 sets. Martin Fucsovics over Marcos Giroud in 4 sets. Laszlo Dejaer over Ben Shelton, your 32 seed, in 4 sets. 10 seed Francis Tiafoe over Dominic Stricker in 3 sets. Mikael Ymer over 9 seed Taylor Fritz in 5 sets. Guido Pella over Harold Mayot in 4 sets. Jiri Lecheka over 18 seed Francisco Cerundolo in 3 sets. David Goffin over Marcelo Barrios Vera in 4 sets. Roman Safulian over Corentin Motet in 3 sets. 16 seed Tommy Paul over Milos Raonic in 4 sets. Daniel Golan over Oscar Ott in 4 sets. Liam Brody over 4 seed Casper Ruud in 5 sets. That was a big upset. 14 seed Alexander Zverev over Gilles Brouwer. Oh, he did that already. That was first round in 3 sets. 26 seed Denis Shapovalov over Grigor Baer in 3 sets. 17 Andrei Rublev over Ruslan Karasev in 4 sets. Quentin Halys over Alexander Vukic in 3 sets. 17 Hubert Hurkacz over Jan Chonsky in 3 sets. Maximilian Martyr over Michael Amo in 3 sets. 14 Lorenzo Musetti over Jaime Munar in 3 sets. 23 seed Alexander Bublik over JJ Wolf in 3 sets. And Stan Wawrinka over 29 seed Tomas Echeverry in 4 sets. All right, some finals so far for today. Second and third round. We'll start with second round finals. 1 seed Carlos Alcaraz over Alexandre Mueller in 3 sets. 19 seed Alexander Zverev over Yusuke Watanuki in 4 sets. 31 seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina over Botic van de Zandschulp in 4 sets. Matteo Berrettini upsets 15 seed Alex de Minaur in 3 sets. Chris O'Connell over Jiri Vesely in 3 sets. 6 seed Holger Rune over Roberto Carreras Baena in 3 sets. Third round finals on 23 seed Alexander Bublik over Maximilian Martyr in 3 sets. 8 seed Jannik Sinner over Quentin Halys in 4 sets. 17 seed Hubert Hurkacz over 14 seed Lorenzo Musetti in 3 sets. Going on right now, second round, 12 seed Cam Norrie and Chris Eubanks. Jason Cooper and 25 seed Nicholas Jarry. And Andy Murray and 5 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas. Third round going on right now. Guido Pella and Roman Safulian. 26 seed Denis Shapovalov and Liam Brody. Daniel Golan and Mikael Ymer. And then about to start third round, Andrei Rublev and David Goffin, and Stan Wawrinka and Novak Djokovic. All right, third round matches that we know of for tomorrow. 10 seed Francis Tiafoe and Grigor Dimitrov, your 21 seed. 31 seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and 6 seed Holger Rune. 3 seed Daniil Medvedev and Martin Fucsovics. 16 seed Tommy Paul and Jiri Lecheka. And 19 seed Alexander Zverev and Matteo Berrettini. Round of 16 will start on Sunday for the men's. All right, women's. Yesterday's results and then today's results so far. So, 4 first round results. Bianca Andreescu over Anna Bondar in 3 sets. 2016 Anila Kalinina over Jessica Buzas Minero in 2 sets. Julie Niemeyer over 16 Carolina Machova in 3 sets. And Dalma Galfi over Linda Noskova in 3 sets. Second round results from yesterday. 4 seed Jessica Pegula over Christina Buska in 2 sets. 22 seed Anastasia Potapova over Kasia Juvan in 2 sets. 3 seed Elena Rybakina over Elise Cornet in 2 sets. 14 seed Belinda Bencic over Danielle Collins in 3 sets. 20 seed Donna Vecchic over Solana Stevens in 3 sets. Elizaveta Carceredo over Rebecca Masarova in 2 sets. 5 seed Caroline Garcia over Leyla Fernandez in 3 sets. Katie Bolter over Victoria Tomanova in 3 sets. 23 seed Magda Linette over Barbora Strykova in 3 sets. 32 seed Marie Buskova over Annette Kontaveit in 2 sets. Sarana Cristia over 17 seed Jelena Ostapenko in 3 sets. 13 Beatrice Haddad Maya over Jacqueline Christian in 3 sets. Mira Andreeva over 10 seed Barbora Krejcikova in 2 sets and a walkover. Marketa Vondrasova over Veronika Kudermetova, your 12 seed in 2 sets. That was a pretty big upset. 19 seed Victoria Azarenka over Nadia Podoroska in 2 sets. 30 seed Petra Martic over Diane Parry in 3 sets. Anna Bogdan over Alicia Parks in 3 sets. Luzia Sarenko over Katerina Siniakova in 2 sets. Elena Svitolina over 2018 Elise Mertens in 3 sets. And Savannah Kennedy over Xinu Wang in 2 sets. All right, finals so far today. Second round. 2 seed Arena Sablenka over Varvara Gracheva in 3 sets. Bianca Andreescu upsets 26 seed Alina Kalyana in 3 sets. Delma Goffel over Julie Niemeyer in 3 sets. 21 seed Ekaterina Alexandrova over Madison Brangle in 3 sets. 25 seed Madison Keys over Victoria Golubic in 2 sets. Anna Blinkova upsets 29 seed Arina Begu in 2 sets. Marta Kostyuk over Paula Badosa in 2 sets and a walkover. 1/3 round final. 19 seed Victoria Azarenka over 11 seed Daria Kostakina in 2 sets. Going on right now, 2 third-round matches. Luzia Sarenko and Anna Bogdan, and 20 seed Donna Vencic and Marketa Vondrasova. Third-round matches to come later. Actually, there's 1 second round. 6 seed Ons Jabeur and Zuan Bay is your second round. Your third rounders to come. 4 seed Jessica Pegula and Elizaveta Cacciaretto. 23 seed Magda Linette and 14 seed Belinda Bencic. That's a good one. 1 seed Iga Swiatek and 30 seed Petra Martic. Elena Svitolina and Sofia Kenin. And 32 seed Marie Buskova and 5 seed Caroline Garcia. All right, third round matches that we know of. 13 seed Beatrice Haddad Maya and Sarana Saresta. And this is all tomorrow. Marta Kostyuk and 25 seed Madison Keys. Anna Blinkova and 2 seed Arena Sablenka. Katie Bolter and 3 seed Elena Rybinka. Dalma Golfi and 21 seed Ekaterina Alexandrova. 22 seed Anastasia Potapova and Mira Andreeva. And Natalija Kostic and 9 seed Petra Kvitova. All right, so there you have it for Wimbledon. Now we'll move on to golf. We have a leaderboard for you for the John Deere Classic. Your leader right now with a score of 11 under is Cam Young. Tied for second with 9 under, Lucas Glover and Jonas Blixt. Fourth with 8 under, Grayson Murray. Fifth with 7 under, JT Potts. And tied for sixth with 6 under, Grayson Teague, Adam Schenk, Grayson Higo, Nate Lashley, Ludwig Gayberg, Sodi Kodiara, Eric Cole, Davis Thompson, Chris Stroud, William Mao, Peter Kuist. Tied for 17th with 5 under, Seamus Power, Brendan Todd, Richie Runsky, MJ Dauphin. Tied for 21st with 4 under, Kramer Hickok, Mark Hubbard, Jimmy Walker, Alex Molly, Estelanza Goya, Tyson Alexander, Nicholas Echeverria, Ben Ganon, Seb Straka, Nate Hardy, Joel Dahman, Kevin Strelman, Alex Baddeley, Ashke Bahita. Excuse me. And Yuto. Yuto Katsuragawa. Tied for 36 with 3 under. Matthew Neesmith, Brian Stewart, Stefan Yeager, Chris Kirk, Harrison Endicott, Cody Gribble, Dylan McCarthy, Keith Mitchell, Zach Blair, Harry Higgs, Will McGirt, Tyler Duncan, Kelly Craft, Martin Laird, Cam Champ, Robbie Sheldon, Bryce Cornett, Brian Matthews. Tied for 54th with 2 under. Troy Merritt, B.U. Hustler, Ryan Palmer, Adam Svensson, Ryan Henley, Matt Kuchar, Andrew Landry, Cheservine, Ryan Moore, Wesley Bryant, Andrew Novak, Austin Cook, Kevin Roy, Dylan Wu, Ross Steelman, Adam Long, Kristen Ziedenhout, Jeff Algavi, Chad Ramey, Kyung-Gu Lee, Emiliano Grillo, Samuel No, Davis Lipsky, Ryan Gerard. Now I'm going to do notables. Tied for 78th with 1 under. Patrick Rogers, CAU, Evan Van Rooyen, Adam Hadwin, Trey Mullinax, Russell Knox, Taylor Moore, Chasen Hadley, James Hahn, Doug Gim, Jason Duffner, David Ernst, Sungwoo Kim, Michael Kim, Robert Stroud, Vincent Whaley, Sam Ryder, Scott Stevens, Austin Smotherman, Ben Martin, Jonathan Bird, Trevor Cohn. Tied for 102nd with at even. Patton Kazir, Joaquin Herman, Robert Brem. Sorry, this is changing on the fly. Lucas Griffin, Peter Malnati, Max McGreevy, Kevin Chappell, Scott Brown, Dylan Fratelli, Scott Harrington, and Matt Trader. Tied for 119th with 1 over. Henrik Norlander, Callum Tarrant, Zach Johnson, Nate Watney, Hank Labiota, Ricky, Reed Martin, Vincent Whaley, Joseph Brumlett, Kyle Stanley, Kevin Westberlin. Tied at 133 with 2 over. Brent Grant, Dylan Lingworth. Tied for 137th with 3 over. Cam Percy, Doc Redmond, Paul Haley, Kevin Tway. Tied for 142nd with 4 over. Carson Young, Matthias Schwab, Ben Taylor, Taylor Montgomery. Tied for 147th with 5 over. Ricky Barnes, Martine Bird, Scott Piercy, Ryan Moore. Tied for 151st with 6 over. Matthias Schmidt, Michael Glidgick, Nate Taylor, and Will Gordon's in 156 at 7 over. Alrighty, now we'll move on to NASCAR. We will go over the weekend's races, and we'll make picks. We'll start with the trucks tomorrow, 1:30 from Ohio. I'm going to pull up the odds on DraftKings real quick. So my pick to win the O'Reilly Auto Parts 150. And I'm going to place my bets for the races tonight when I'm back in when I'm back in a state where you could legally gamble in. I'm going to go with a little bit of a longer shot here. I'm going to go with Matt DiBenedetto at 25-1 to win the O'Reilly Parts 150. Next up is the Alsco Uniforms 250 from Atlanta on USA Network. For this one, I like this one at 18-1, Daniel Hemrick. And in the Cup Series, Sunday Under the Lights from Atlanta, the Quaker State 400%ed by Walmart. So for this one, this is a hard one. There's a lot of guys I like at this track that I think could have success. There's a lot of guys I like at particular numbers. But the one with the most value on the board is Martin Truex Jr. at 20-1. I remember I took him in the shootout race before the Daytona 500. I didn't bet on it, but he won. And I am going to go with Martin Truex Jr. 20-1 to win the Quaker State 400. All right, now I'm going to do my final MLB mock draft of the year. My final mock draft period of the year, unless I randomly do an NFL mock draft before the new year. So without further ado, my final MLB mock draft. Number 1, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dylan Cruz, outfielder, LSU. It's either going to be him or his teammate Paul Skenes on the Champs. I like Dylan Cruz a lot. He has a great bat. Hits the ball hard. Number 2, the Washington Nationals. Paul Skenes, right-handed pitcher, LSU. Second LSU guy in a row off the board. It'd be stunning if these are not the top 2 picks. Skenes projects to be an ace. Nats need some young arms in their system. 3, the Detroit Tigers. Wyatt Langford, outfielder, Florida. Langford is the consensus number 3 guy. Could have been the number 1 overall pick in another year. Number 4, the Texas Rangers. Max Clark, outfielder, Franklin High School in Indiana. All right, I had Tyler Jenkins here all mock draft season. Now I flipped to Max Clark. I would have gone with Jenkins here instead of Clark, but that's just me. But consensus feels like it's going to be Clark. 5, the Minnesota Twins. Tyler Jenkins, outfielder, South Brunswick High School in North Carolina. This would be a great selection for the Twins. After the Rangers, in theory, would pass on him. But I do like Tyler Jenkins a lot. I would take him over Max Clark. 6, the Oakland Athletics. Brayden Taylor, third baseman, TCU. Taylor's somebody whose stock rose in the College World Series. Good defender. Be a good fit with Oakland. 7, the Cincinnati Reds. Kyle Teel, catcher, Virginia. Personally, I think the Reds should go with the pitcher. But they've took pitchers, I feel like, the last several drafts. So it makes sense for them to go with the catcher, as they need some catchers in their system. So it would make sense for them to go with Teal. 8, the Kansas City Royals. Blake Mitchell, catcher, Sinton High School, Texas. So back-to-back catchers come off the board. The Royals might need a catcher in their system. Sal Perez might be traded. And then the young kid that they like, Melendez, could take over. So that would make sense for them to go catcher. 9, the Colorado Rockies. Chase Down, their right-handed pitcher, Tennessee. So I think the Rockies need pitching. It's consensus every year. I feel like, and then they always end up taking the high school position player instead. But we'll see. 10, the Miami Marlins. Jacob Gonzalez, shortstop, will miss. The Marlins feel likely to take a shortstop. I think it's going to be a shortstop here. Depends on which Jacob, really. Gonzalez or Wilson. 11, the Los Angeles Angels. Rhett Lauer, right-handed pitcher, Wake Forest. If Lauer or Dollander are still on the board for the Angels, they have to take them, I think. The Angels are kind of like the Rockies, that they should be taking pitchers. Griffin Canning has been okay in the big leagues so far, but he's like a mid-rotation guy so far. So maybe they're going for someone that could be a top guy in Rhett Lauer, if you were to follow them. 12, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Colin Houck, shortstop, Parkview High School in Georgia. Houck is a really good prospect. D-backs are loaded with prospects. They're going to probably go for it at the trade deadline. So who knows? Maybe whoever they pick here is going to end up being in a trade this summer. 13, the Chicago Cubs. Enrique Bradfield Jr., outfielder, Vanderbilt. So The Cubs are a team that I think wants to stock up on some prospects too. Bradfield Jr. is a safe bet, coming from a great school in Vanderbilt. 14, the Boston Red Sox. Tommy Troy, middle infielder, Stanford. The Red Sox have a glut of middle infielders, so Troy here I don't think makes a lot of sense for them. Personally, they should go with the pitcher if one of those guys falls, or they could go with Waltrip from Florida. 15, the Chicago White Sox. Speaking of Waltrip, he goes here to the White Sox. Hudson Waltrip, right-handed pitcher, Florida. So the White Sox need to go with best guy available. They have to admit that this experiment has not worked. Tony La Russa was a bust as a manager. We all knew that at the time. And then the new manager hasn't done much better. And they're just stuck in mediocrity. So they need to go with the best guy available. So Waltrip here would be a good pick. 16, the San Francisco Giants. Jacob Wilson, shortstop, Grand Canyon. If one of the Jacobs falls to the Giants, they have to take him. He barely strikes out. This guy's really good. 17, the Baltimore Orioles. Noble Meyer, right-handed pitcher, Chase High School in Oregon. The O's arguably have the best farm system in baseball. They're calling guys up left and right to contribute to their team. And they might pull off the unthinkable and win the AL East. I really think they have a chance. And the O's can go anywhere they want here. And who knows, maybe whoever they pick ends up getting traded in the summer. 18, the Milwaukee Brewers. Matt Shaw, middle infielder, Maryland. The Brewers, they have good success with drafting college players. I think they got to go with best guy available. They might be a blow-it-up team in July. Or I should say this month. We're in July. It's the 7th. Hello. 19, the Tampa Bay Rays. Bryce Eldridge, first baseman and right-handed pitcher, Madison High School in Vienna, Virginia. So the Rays have some history of taking two-way guys. Brendan McKay was a bust. That's unfortunate. He pitched a little bit in the big leagues, but he just never made it. And not everybody makes it. And the Rays finally had that kind of over the last 5-7 years or so. But Bryce Eldridge, I think, is one of the more interesting prospects in this whole draft. And now it's easier for two-way guys with Ohtani's presence in the big leagues. 20, the Toronto Blue Jays. Arjun Namala, shortstop, Strawberry Crest High School in Florida. Namala is somebody that might go in the teens. So if he falls to the Blue Jays at 20, it might be a steal. We'll see. I think the Blue Jays should go best available because they have to recoup from after Matt Chapman and Jose Barrios steals. 21, the St. Louis Cardinals. Aiden Miller, third baseman, Mitchell High School in Florida. Miller falling to 21 might be a steal. Just might be a steal. He has a lot of power with the bat. Maybe long-term replacement for Nolan Arenado at third base. Who knows? 22, the Seattle Mariners. Joe Whitman, left-handed pitcher, Kent State. So I don't think I've had Whitman in a mock draft yet, so the last one I have him in. Best college lefty in the class. The Mariners have had a good history taking college pitchers lately, so this would make sense. 23, the Cleveland Guardians. Colt Emerson, shortstop, third baseman, Glenn High School in Ohio. So Guardians take a hometown kid here. Makes sense. They have a good farm system, but there are some rumblings that they might trade some players. So maybe best guy available might be the thing to go for the Guardians. 24, the Atlanta Braves. Nolan Shanuel, first baseman, outfielder, FAU. The Braves have a weak farm system with all their guys pretty much graduated to the big league level. So it would make sense for Atlanta to go with best available. Versatile player. 25, the San Diego Padres. Walker Martin, shortstop, Eaton High School, Colorado. Walker Martin could go in the top 20. I had him 16 to San Francisco in my last two mocks. He has a good swing, but may have to move to third base. 26, the New York Yankees. Sammy Stafora, shortstop, Panos High School in New York. So, Yankees and hometown shortstop are like synonymous, right? Anthony Volpe, you know the deal. But the Yanks have options here. They don't have a good farm system right now either, with Anthony Volpe graduating and Oswald Peraza technically graduated as well. So, this would be a nice pick for them. 27, the Philadelphia Phillies. Yohandy Morales, third baseman, Miami. They need some reinforcements in their system, too. Morales is a good hitter, fast riser. Should go in the first round. And 28, the Houston Astros. Brock Wilken, third baseman, Wake Forest. So, Wilken's new to the mock. He was on the top team in the country in Wake. Pull-happy hitter. Good defender at third. So there you have it for my latest mock draft. And now news and notes. News and notes isn't a lot today, believe it or not. So speaking of MLB draft, we'll start there. Dylan Cruz is seeking a record-breaking signing bonus ahead of Sunday's draft. $10 million. Wow. Will the Pirates give it him is the question. I think they might. All right, big loss for the Astros. Jose Altuve to the injured list with a left oblique strain. Not good news for the Astros. Just when they're starting to play better, one of their best players goes on the injured list. Big loss for them. Now the question is, how long will he be out for? Left obliques are not good. Marlins outfielder Jonathan Davis out 3 to 6 weeks following meniscus surgery. 3 to 6 months, so he's out for the year. That's not great for the up-and-coming Marlins. Yes Network cameraman Pete Stendel stretched off the field after being hit on the errantly thrown baseball on Wednesday night, and he has an orbital fracture, but from what I heard, he's in good spirits. So hopefully Stendel is back and working at some point soon. Nationals manager Dave Martinez calls out Elly De La Cruz's antics after he blasted Homer following the bat check. So he's already given me Yasiel Puig vibes. And if you're the Reds, that might not be a great thing. All right. There's a benches clearing incident in Mets Diamondbacks yesterday as an ump gets in between after Jose Ruiz hits Francisco Alvarez with a pitch. Obviously, Francisco Alvarez has been huge in this series, and now the D-backs are just being stupid. All right, so NBA stuff. Damian Lillard sweepstakes. We've been talking about that a lot. Lillard seems amazed at chatter around trade requests from Portland. But the funniest thing in the NBA yesterday, from like a wow standpoint, is that Spurs security allegedly struck Britney Spears at a Vegas restaurant as Britney Spears, I think, was trying to meet Victor Wembanyama. Like, that says a lot to how big Victor Wembanyama has become. And Britney Spears came out with a statement about the incident. She goes, traumatic experiences are not new to me, and I have had my fair share of them. I was not prepared for what happened to me last night. I recognized an athlete in my hotel lobby as I was heading to dinner. I later went to a restaurant at a different hotel and saw him again. I decided to approach him and congratulate him on his success. It was really loud, so I tapped him on the shoulder to get his attention. I'm aware of the player's statement when he mentions I grabbed him from behind, but I simply tapped him on the shoulder. His security then backhanded me in the face without looking back in front of a crowd, nearly knocking me down and causing my glasses off my face. She says she gets swarmed by people all the time. And then she was swarmed by a group of at least 20 fans. And then she's like, my security team didn't hit any of them. And then, like, she went on and on and on about the situation. But I just think that, I don't know, I guess Wembanyama's people don't like Britney Spears. And that's, I would have, if that was me, like, and saw Victor Wembanyama, I would have loved to get that guy's autograph. Like, that's terrible what Victor Wembanyama's people did, in my opinion. It's Britney freaking Spears, one of the biggest singers on this planet. But yeah, crazy story, and that wasn't fair to Britney Spears, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm biased because I love Britney Spears, but that's ridiculous. All right. DeJounte Murray, 4 years, $120 million extension with the Hawks, making $30 million a year. That's a lot of money for DeJounte Murray. So I don't think the Hawks are really done this offseason yet. That's weird. Dwight Howard says that his prime is better than Jokic's prime, as he discusses how dominant he was despite not getting the same opportunities as Jokic. Like, come on, Dwight. Maybe if you won a couple of championships, you would have been perceived as a better player than Jokic at this point. And Dame and his agent went to the Blazers GM, or want the Blazers GM to have meaningful negotiation with Miami. How about this? The Boston Celtics are eyeing a seismic trade as they're stockpiling draft picks for future blockbuster deal. Like, for who? Dame? Dame doesn't make sense there. In a weird way. The Kings acquire Chris Duarte from the Indiana Pacers in exchange for 2 second-round picks. So I wonder if one of those picks is one of those, because they obviously trade a couple to get Obi Toppin. Now, those are the price for, like, those types of players. But Grant Williams just cost got the Celtics an extra one than those two teams. How about LaMelo Ball? He's just so delusional. He's shooting for MVP and first-team All-NBA after signing his max extension. No shot. No shot. My God. In an interesting trade in the NBA's, the Grizzlies will send 3 second-round picks to Phoenix for 2 first-round pick swaps and Isaiah Todd. I like that deal for Memphis because they're swaps and they have the right to move up in the draft. So I think that's a really good trade for Memphis. And then Phoenix is just stockpiling second-round picks that they lost in some of those other trades. So the WNBA edition of 2K, and the cover is Sabrina Ionescu, which is pretty deserving for her, in my opinion. So how about this? Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier are finding a new league, unrevealed league. It would help players get paid in the offseason. Wow. All right, NFL. Mark Ingram joining Fox. It's more of a college thing, as he'll be on Big Noon Kickoff. So that's a good ad for Fox. So how about this? Arizona lands a 5-star defensive end. Elijah Rushing. The highest ranked commit in Arizona program history. So that's a big get for them. All right. Georgia football in trouble again. So a freshman linebacker cited for speeding after driving 88 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Yikes. Pat Fitzgerald suspended for 2 weeks unpaid after hazing investigation. That's not great for Northwestern. How about this? Bucks cornerback Carlton Davis warns to the league, to the doubters of the post-Brady Bucks are in for a rude awakening. He said, we're going to wreck shit, he says. Like, really? That guy is talking out of his mind. And then 2 years, $14 million contract extension for Kings center Anze Kopitar, which is good news for LA. And then quickly before we go, I want to discuss Jason Stark wrote a column for The Athletic about his midseason awards. And full disclosure, I saw this article before the games were played last night. I found something very insulting in there. In the LVP section in honorable mentions, he had all Yankees not named Judge for the American League. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I know they proceeded to get crushed 14-1 last night. And that's another story. We'll get into Aaron Boone and my feelings about him on another show because we do not have time. But Jason Stark has to be, like, are you serious? Like, have you watched the Mets play? Have you watched the Cardinals play? Like, every Yankee not named Judge? That is not fair because there are some guys on the Yankees that are having good seasons outside of Judge. Garrett Cole's been very good. And Garrett Cole wasn't even included in his top 5 for Cy Young. And I think he should be because he's obviously the best pitcher on the Yankees. I mean, if there's one guy that's an LVP on the Yankees, it should be Luis Severino, who's been fucking terrible this year. And I think that he should have been on his LVP list rather than the whole team outside of Judge because this team is still over 500 in the best division in baseball. And there are other teams, most notably in the city, within the Mets, that have been an utter disaster. So how about put every Met in your LVP for the National League instead of insulting a team that's 8 games over 500 without its best player and still in the mix for a playoff spot? That's disrespectful, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Listen, Jason Stark's a good writer and everything, but I am disgusted at what he did and pretty much making the Yankees out to be the Mets, which is absolutely terrible. All right, so there you have it for the show. So there's your rant to close out your Friday show. I'll be back on Monday. Have a good weekend, everyone.